די לי להיות ממך.
Purim, the Jewish Halloween, in that there's costumes and parties, and in absolutely no other respect. Purim commemorates the victory of the Jews in Persia over their archenemy Haman, or in English, Haman, as told in the Book of Esther. For synagogue-going Jews, celebrating Purim starts on the evening of the 14th of Adar with reading the Megillah, the scroll that tells the story of Esther. The reading is lively. In costumes, people boo and spin groggers every time the villain Haman's name is said. It's taught he was descended from Amalek, a people the Torah commanded Jews to remember to forget. So yelling over his name is a way to continue blotting Amalek out. Less traditionally, some communities will cheer for Vashti, whinny for horses, etc. Hearing the entire Megillah, every word, is the biggest commandment of Purim. There are shorter Purim spiels, comedic sketches, with actors, puppets, and of course, YouTube videos. In communities around the world, there are other traditions too. Visiting the tombs of Esther and Mordechai in Iran, dragging Haman effigies around in Yemen, and striking stones with Haman's name on them together in France. The 10 chapters of the Megillah go as follows. King Ahasuerus tells his wife Vashti, "You won't show yourself off for my friends? New wife, please." So all of the women are like, "Me?" And King Ahasuerus says to one named Esther, "Yes, you." Now, Esther was Jewish, but her uncle Mordechai tells her, "Mum's the word." Meanwhile, in the palace, the king's advisor Haman says, "I'm great, you should all bow to me." But Mordechai says, "Nah, a public act of bravery." So Haman says, "I'm mad now, so I'm going to kill all the Jews." In protest, Mordechai wears a sack and stops eating, and other Jews follow. More public bravery. Perhaps you're noticing a theme? And Esther does something that could get her killed. She goes to King Ahasuerus and says, "Hey, man wants to kill me." So King Ahasuerus says, "Let's kill him instead. My new advisor is Mordechai. Let's have a parade." And they do. The end. God isn't mentioned once in the story. Instead, it's a tale of political maneuvering, personal activism, and communal bravery against an anti-Semitic plot. The sages teach God's presence hides beneath the surface in all of the acts of bravery. These acts are centered around standing up for what's right, and what better way to commemorate that than by getting drunk, dressing up, and partying? It's an Ashkenazi tradition to dress up for Purim. Maybe in homage to the hidden miracles, maybe because Esther pretended to not be Jewish, or maybe thanks to 15th century Roman carnival customs. While the holiday of Purim goes back over 2,000 years, dressing up for Purim started right around then. In Israel, this has been adopted by the Sephardi community and is all around a big deal. There are family-friendly parades, huge street parties, and tons of carnival-themed club events. This holiday gets even the most secular folks out to celebrate. If you go to a synagogue for Purim, you have a good chance of running into goofy melodies used for the usual prayers, a costume contest, a preschool carnival, and piles of hamantashen. In Israel, they're called oznei aman. They're 3-cornered cookies. The best ones are stuffed with chocolate. This is a fact, not an opinion. Poppy seed ones can be pretty good, and if you're unlucky, you might get stuck with one of the fruit-filled ones. The 3 sides represent Haman's hat, or his ears, or our forefathers, or dice from the royal game of Ur. Who knows? There's all sorts of reasons given. Around the world, there are other special Purim foods, like Iraqi chickpea turnovers, and Moroccan sweet Purim bread with a hard-boiled egg inside it. Enough about food. There's also an obligation to drink, until you can't tell the difference between the phrases "cursed is Haman" and "blessed is Mordechai." This is a holiday requirement that rabbis have debated for centuries, asking, really, are we really required to drink this much? With a short answer of, well, yeah. If you can, this is a good holiday. Like most Jewish holidays, there's also a big meal, a Purim Seudah, and some extra prayers. Outside of eating, listening to the Megillah, and drinking, there's a few other mitzvot for Purim. On Purim Day, like all Jewish holidays, it starts at night and continues into the next day. You're supposed to give gifts to friends called mishloach manot, or shalach manis in Yiddish. This joy-spreading commandment requires you to give at least 2 portions of food to a friend, but more is always more fun. People deliver mishloach manot to their friends by hand and at parties, sometimes through synagogue fundraisers. Also, it's a mitzvah to make gifts of money to at least 2 needy people. This Purim tzedakah is called matanot la'evyonim. Purim literally translates to lots, as Haman casts lots to decide what day to destroy the Jewish people. Pur, notably, is also in the name Yom Kippur, and there are some neat connections between the 2 holidays. Purim can inspire. the Jewish people can unite across geography and time to see the hidden, to overcome adversity, and to celebrate. Chag Purim Sameach. Happy Purim.
I'm Sam Fergan from Scarsdale, New York. Thank you so much for the Mishloach Mano. We really appreciate it. Chag Sameach.
Hi, I'm Joey Sacro from Baltimore, Maryland. Really appreciate Mishloach Mano. Chag Sameach, and thanks for making our week.
Hi, my name is Yuval. I'm a soldier here, and I wanted to thank you. This means a lot to me. My mom is from Texas, and I'm a soldier here.
My name is Ariel Feifel. I'm from San Diego, California. I just wanted to say thank you very much for the great gifts. We really appreciate it.
We all flipped out when we saw the buses, and it helps remind you why you're doing this.
Hi, my name is Ilan Zlanik from Los Angeles. I'm a Oleh Chadash, Chayil Boded, and got these Mishloach Manot today. Really made our day. We're out here working hard in the Shetach, in the field, learning to be better soldiers, to protect the state of Israel. It's just makes our day, makes our week.
Hi, my name is Daniel Shibley. I'm from Washington, D.C. And it means the world, really, to get Mishloach Manot. All these days sitting out here in the Shetach, in the field, it's good to know that somebody cares. We really appreciate it a lot, and Chag Purim Sameach.
Hi, I'm Jaden Wright from Johannesburg, South Africa. Chayil Boded. Mishloach Manot means a lot to us as line soldiers.
Hi, I'm Naomi Harvey from Sydney, Australia, and Chag Sameach. Thank you for the Mishloach Manot. It means a lot to us.
Hi, Levi Dworkin. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and right here in the middle of nowhere. And thank you so much. Amazing people around the world bring us Mishloach Manot, and we really appreciate it.
My name is Menashe Eger. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and to me, to get Mishloach Manot for Purim means the world. It just makes my holiday.
Hi, I'm Alex from London. I'm in Hadassah Kravit, Combat Engineering. I'm here in Sosia, in Hebron, on Kav. Purim Sameach. Thank you so much for the Mishloach Manot. Love to Israel.
We have people coming to visit you on a base that's in the middle of nowhere. It kind of shows support, even though you think that you may be alone, you may not have a support system. It's always nice to know that people are coming from who knows where, Jerusalem, from States, from New York, everywhere.
Hi, my name is Ben Shaheen, and we're here on the Gaza border right before Purim, and we appreciate these Mishloach Manos. They really they give us chizuk, and they really help us. I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto. I'm a Chayil Boded here, and I came here to serve because we love our country and we appreciate what you guys do for us.
שלום, אנחנו היום חוגגים את פורים בבח צנחנים. בואו נראה אם החיילים שלנו מכירים את השירים של החג. חג פורים, חג פורים,
חג גדול לילדים,
מסכות, חשנים,
שירים וריקודים,
אבן הרישה,
רש רש רש,
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 ברא,
שנים.
תודה. חג פורים, חג פורים,
חג גדול לילדים,
חג גדול לילדים, מסכות, חשנים,
שירים וריקודים,
חג פורים, חג פורים,
חג גדול לילדים,
אבן הרישה, אבן הרישה, ברא השנים.
חטיבת הצנחנים מאחלת לכם פורים שמח!
Welcome back. This weekend, Jews here in Israel and around the world celebrate the holiday of Purim. According to the biblical Book of Esther, the Jews of ancient Persia were saved from destruction ordered by the wicked royal vizier Haman, thanks to the intervention of King Ahasuerus's Jewish queen Esther and her wise uncle Mordechai. But over the years, Purim has become more like the Jewish Mardi Gras or carnival, celebrated with costumes and plenty of drinking. Let's take a look in this report by our culture correspondent, Maya Margit.
Everyone celebrates the holiday of Purim. The seculars, the ultra-Orthodox, people on the political left and right. Celebrated differently by Jewish communities in Israel and around the world, there's one thing in common they all share: dressing up in wild, wacky costumes and partying.
Thousands of people are here at one of Tel Aviv's main square for the annual Purim street party. It's a lovely day outside and people are here to have a good time and let loose.
It's one of the biggest street parties of the year. Crazy costumes everywhere.
I'm at a toilet, as you can see. My legs and something here, and all the toilet is here. The best thing about Purim that you can wear whatever you want. Nobody judge you or everything. You can do whatever you want.
We love to come here every year because it's very big and we see all of our friends from a lot of cities, and this is fun. This is really fun to dress up. I wish I could have done this every day.
For some, the festive day is not only about having fun, it's also a chance to send a message.
It's a political statement. I'm putting a mask on the Liberty statue, which is a little bit complicated these days.
Aside from parades and partying, there's a religious side to Purim as well. Many observant Jews go to synagogue to hear the Megillah, the scroll of Esther, being read aloud. But in Israel, there's no doubt the highlight of the holiday are the street carnivals and concerts. Religious and secular, young and old, everyone is in on the party.
Of course, one of the most important things about Purim is that it includes a commandment to drink and be merry. Bottoms up. Maya Margit, I-24 News, Tel Aviv.
Well, Maya Margit is with us here, still in costume.
Sure.
Maya, what about this drinking? Jewish holidays actually are not known for drinking,
That's
except for Purim. Why in Purim?
It's the only day, actually, in the Jewish law that you're supposed to drink. You're supposed to get drunk to the point where you can't tell the difference between good or evil. And the reason for this is it's a celebration holiday. Instead of the old Jewish proverb, they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. This time is they tried to kill us, we won, let's drink. So it's a very kind of positive and festive holiday, kind of similar to Carnival that happens with Mardi Gras in February. There are some links there. And by the way, I'm wearing a moose hat because I'm Canadian, and I figured there's a nice little connection there.
And this big parade, every year it seems to get bigger here in Israel.
It was huge. There were tens of thousands of people for blocks and blocks around. The streets were all closed, and this is just one of the many street festivals. Tomorrow there is a zombie walk where everyone dresses up as zombies and parades up and down Tel Aviv. And in Jerusalem they have a major parade happening later on in the weekend as well.
Right. Jerusalem, actually, I'm a Jerusalemite. It celebrates it a day
later,
a day later. So tomorrow night, is that in the reading in the synagogue here in Tel Aviv?
The official beginning of Purim is tomorrow night, although at this point the holidays become a week-long celebration. People just trying to make it last as long as possible.
And then on Sunday we will read the scroll of Esther in synagogue then.
Correct, yes.
Well, Maya, I think I'm going to have to get into the spirit of this thing here because this is Purim.
It's a great color
I don't know
on you.
about the drinking, yes.
Yes.
How's that for
I think it's a great
look?
color.
I think it matches it does match my tie.
It does, quite.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for bringing a little of the spirit of Purim here into the studio. And I want to say goodbye for now. Happy Purim to all our Jewish viewers and all our viewers. And, of course, catch the rundown on Monday at the same time. Go out, drink, but don't drive, and enjoy Purim.
Shalom! I'm glad you guys are here. What's that delicious smell? Huh. Do you guys smell what I smell? Hey, let's go find out and see where it's coming from, huh?
חג פורים שמח למלם.
חג שמח, סבתא שושנה.
חג שמח. חג שמח. See you at the spiel.
Shoshana, what are you baking? It smells so delicious.
Shalom, Annalisa. I'm making oznei haman.
Oznei haman?
Oh, here. Try one.
Oh, hamantashen. That's what we call it back home.
Yeah.
Wait, so that must mean...
Yes. Purim is tonight. Purim is one of our happiest holidays. We celebrate in lots of ways by reading the Megillah, or giving tzedakah, or having a Purim spiel, or wearing costumes.
Oh, yeah.
Avikai loves costumes. Oh, me too. We're doing something a little different for the Purim spiel this year. We're having a talent show. I hope you all can come.
Oh, come to be
Yes.
Hey, Moshe,
Hmm?
did you hear? There's
What?
going to be a talent show at the Purim Spiel tonight. Want to come?
A talent show, eh?
Mm-hmm.
What's in it for me?
Well, whoever wins the talent show gets a king-size batch of my Oznei Haman with the filling of his or her choice.
So, what do you think?
Nah, I don't think I'll be busy tonight.
Busy? Busy doing what?
Busy not going to the Purim Spiel.
What an Uznik! He doesn't know what he's missing. Anyway, Annalisa, we'll need a host for the Purim Spiel. What do you say?
I'd love to.
Oh, great! Oh, I have got to get back to work. See you in the Purim Spiel.
See you there.
Okay.
Shalom.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, Avika is going to get ready too.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Well, if you are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Ashley. It is really good to have you. Today, I'm kind of talking about the different facets of our faith and how we celebrate and how we believe and things like that. So today's video is going to be talking about how we celebrate the biblical holiday of Purim. That is coming up later this week. It begins Wednesday the 20th at sundown and goes through Thursday the 21st at sundown. The biblical days go from sundown to sundown, not morning to night. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about Purim and how our family celebrates it. So like I said, this year Purim is March 20th, 21st, begins sundown the 20th and goes through sundown the 21st. The actual date on the Gregorian calendar changes every year because it is based on the Hebrew calendar, which is slightly different than ours. It's a lunar calendar. So the date of that holiday will change on our Gregorian calendars. So that's when Purim is this year. And now I will confess, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, that before coming to the Hebrew faith, before we began our Torah observant walk in following after Jesus, I had no idea what Purim was. I basically thought that Purim was like Jewish Halloween. I had a couple of Jewish friends. I would see pictures of their kids dressed up in costumes on this random date in February or March and be like, huh, Jewish Halloween, weird. No idea what this holiday was about, even though I did generally know the story of Queen Esther. I did not have any understanding of the holiday. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're not alone. You are not the only one. So Purim is a celebration based upon the events that take place in the Book of Esther in the Old Testament of the scriptures. And this is a story of God's deliverance of his people. So if you want to read the story of Queen Esther and the story behind Purim, you can read that. If you don't own a Bible and you're interested in knowing it, it's easy to find online. As a matter of fact, I will link to an online Bible with the Book of Esther if you guys want to read the whole story. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I'll give you the Cliff's Notes. Queen Esther is a Jew, but the king does not know that she is a Jew. Her uncle Mordecai is an advisor to the king, and there is a man named Haman, boo, who is also an advisor to the king, kind of gets brought up, made like head advisor to the king. So some stuff happens. Haman does not like the Jewish people. He convinces the king to make a decree to execute all of the Jews on this one day. That is the 13th of Adar. That's a day on the Hebrew calendar. Queen Esther, through her uncle Mordecai, hears about this decree, and of course, they are very grieved because these are their people. And so Queen Esther fasts for 3 days before going before the king and requesting to essentially host the king, her husband, and Haman at a dinner party. And through this dinner party, she is able to reveal to her husband, she was able to reveal to him that she was in fact a Jew and that Haman wanted all of her people executed. So the king issued a new decree saying that the Jews could fight back against their enemies. And so on the day chosen for their destruction, God handed victory to the Jewish people. Once again, they destroyed their enemies, and that is why on the 14th of Adar we celebrate the deliverance of God's people once again. And at the end of the Book of Esther, you can see how the people celebrated their victory, their deliverance. They celebrated with the giving of gifts of food to one another, giving of gifts or tzedakah to the poor, and just celebrating that they were still alive. Now, as a believer in Jesus, or Yeshua, which, as I like to tell people, I think is closer to what his mama would have called him. So that's the name that we use in our home. Doesn't matter what you call him, as long as you call on him. We celebrate this day because it is a picture of the deliverance and the victory that God gives his people. And his people are our people. When we become believers in Messiah, this becomes our story too. These people become our people. We are adopted in as sons and daughters. And I think that this memorial holiday, it's so much fun for our kids and for our family. It's kind of like 4th of July for Americans in a way. Please don't like throw tomatoes at me for saying that. I'm just saying it's like a memorial of victory and freedom. And so that is why we choose to celebrate this day, even though according to the feasts laid out in scripture, it is not a commanded feast day. It's like Hanukkah, it is a memorial holiday. That is why we celebrate Purim. So with that little bit or a bit of backstory, this is what we do to celebrate. Now, there are a lot of traditional ways to celebrate Purim. We do not do all of the traditions. We don't have any issue with the traditions, but neither one of us were raised celebrating these days, so we're still learning. There are still things that we may not completely understand, or just things that we have not implemented as traditions in our family yet. Doesn't mean we won't, doesn't mean we will, but there are some traditional things that we do like to do in order to celebrate Purim as a way of thanking God and remembering what he's done for us. So the first thing, everybody, when it comes to Purim, reads out loud the Book of Esther. We read back the story to remember. And the very important point in reading through the Book of Esther, reading the story, is that when you hear the name Mordecai, yay! You cheer and you make loud noise because Mordecai's the good guy. And when you read through the story and you come across the name of Haman, boo! You boo Haman because he wants to kill our people, and that is not a good thing. So that is something that we do every year. There's traditional foods, one of them being, I am probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this word, hamantashen. It means Haman's ear. They are cookies or pastries that look like little triangles, and they're often filled with some kind of preserves or some delicious chocolate or there's all kinds of different hamantashen that people like to eat. Gifts of food specifically. So this year we are going to make up a batch of cookies and we're going to take them down to our cousins, my sister and her family down the street, as a gift of food for the holiday. Tzedakah, giving to the poor. So that can be monetary gifts, gifts of food. We will make a tzedakah donation for the gift of Purim. And we party. We celebrate. I know that in some Jewish tradition, it's commanded to drink to the point where you don't recognize anyone anymore. We do not keep to that tradition, but we will definitely party. So at the closing of Purim this year, we will go to a party at our fellowship and we will dress up. We will dress up in costume because of the hidden identity of the deliverer in the Book of Esther. And this is something that I didn't mention before. In the Book of Esther, there is one name, one person, one entity that is never mentioned, and that is God. And that's really interesting considering that this is a book of in the canon of scripture. The deliverer of his people, his identity is kept hidden through this book. So we dress up in costume to remember that God's name was hidden in this book. It's just so much fun for the kids. It creates great family tradition around these days. And as our pastor says, tradition breeds reverence. When we do something, when we create a tradition around something, we elevate that thing and we lift it up. And so in keeping to these traditions with our children, with our family, we are hoping to breed reverence and to elevate the remembrance of what our God has done for us. Not just in the time of Queen Esther, but even now, what he has done for our family. These are great times of remembrance for that. So, that is how our family celebrates the biblical holiday of Purim. I hope you guys found this video interesting or informative. I hope that it brings a little bit of joy to the chaos of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!
It's not Halloween, rather Purim. A parade full of people in costume hit the streets in Israel to honor the festive Jewish holiday. There were dozens of huge floats, flags, and dancers marching to celebrate. Plus upbeat music. Purim commemorates the defeat of an ancient plot to kill the Jews. The theme for this year's parade was Israel.
אין כבר דרך חזרה, רק קדימה. 15 שנה אני באה לכאן בפורים, וזה הפורים הכי מדליק שהיה והכי ירוק גם, 3 ימים. בעיר תל אביב צהלה ושמחה, חצי יום שהשוק פתוח, הייתי ככה סתם הולך, והחזה מתוח, כולם אומרים איזה גנון, ובקצאות עושים שלום איתו חלום, כל הגגות כולם היו יודעים התורה, למי יש יותר גגות.
I'm here at in Tel Aviv, Allenby Street. Today is Purim Festival of Israel 2019, and people are celebrating. You can see just around me, people wearing the colorful dresses, and there's going some dance party over there. आज चाहिँ यो पुरिम 2019 पुरिम चाहिँ हाम्रो यो होली जस्तै पर्व रहेछ, तर होलीमा अब हाम्रो रङ दल्ने चलन छ, तर यहाँ चाहिँ लुगाहरू रङ्गी बिरङ्गी लुगाहरू लगाएर सबैजना हिँड्ने र रमाइलो गर्ने रहेछ।
Excuse me.
something and keep it.
Elvis? Yeah? Yes, I'm having
Thank you for watching, guys. See you on my next video.
הבאנו שלום, הבאנו שלום, הבאנו שלום.